I forgot the name of our show. It's In the Slot, right?
In the slot.
Okay.
Just let's keep rolling.
Welcome back to another episode of In the Slot. I'm Jacob Fraser with my co-host Keanen Tregaskis, and today we've got a fun episode here. But before we get into it, how's it going, Keanen?
Pretty good. I think this is the first time in our hockey show history we've gone back-to-back weeks with an episode.
Yeah, it is nice to finally get a back-to-back here.
Have some consistency, yeah.
Yeah. Today we're just going to be breaking down some weekly updates, and then we'll go through our team of the week like we did last week. That'll be a weekly segment that we do, and then we'll start talking about some Eastern Conference standings here, give our quarter season awards, and we'll finish off with some more Canada Olympic roster talk. So let's get into our weekly updates. Jack Hughes out 6 to 8 weeks after cutting his hand at a team dinner with Frank the Tank from Barstool. I think it was his birthday dinner or something like that, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
This
Just
is Devil's season was going too good.
yeah,
Something dumb was bound to happen.
just a crazy injury. I don't think we've gotten any of the details on what actually happened, have we?
He just cut himself. Cut his
Yeah.
hand with a knife.
I mean,
That's
6
as
to
many
8 weeks, that's a crazy cut.
that's more details than the NHL usually gives, though.
That's true.
Like the hand injury out 6 to 8 weeks.
I'm just very curious to I doubt we'll ever find out, but I'm very curious to know what actually happened. Like, was he playing the knife game, when you're slicing up your hand?
Could you imagine having to approach the press with just a hole in the middle of your hand? You're like, hey, what's up with that? You remember the knife injury I had?
Yeah.
But
There should be sorry, go ahead.
the restaurant was getting negative reviews because of this too.
Were they? Oh,
It's so stupid. Like, there's no news like a waiter cut him or anything. Like, it's just he cut his hand. That's not on the restaurant.
no, that's crazy. There's got to be something in his contract. No knife game, no
If there is,
no
there
playing
is
with
now.
knives. Yeah.
Someone has to cut his food for him.
Yeah. Speaking of some food-related injuries, Lusterlinen, or however you say his name, with the Florida Panthers, is out week to week after a barbecuing accident.
Someone's got to teach these guys how to cook.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be that difficult that we got 2 in 1 week.
I was just watching a Colby Armstrong interview with Connor Bedard, and he said he hired himself a personal chef this year. So he's making rookie contract money right now. I guess he's got the sponsorship deals and everything, but you'd think these guys like Jack Hughes making 8x8 or whatever can
He's
afford
got sponsorship deals too.
exactly. He can
He
afford
can
a
pay
private
someone to
chef.
cut his food for him.
You know what I've been watching a lot of lately? I've been watching The Crown. Maybe you got to live like the royal family. They don't do anything for themselves.
How rich do you think these guys are? He's making $8 million. I got a guy who dresses me. I got a guy who feeds me. I got a guy who drives me everywhere. I got a guy who plays hockey for me.
I mean, they got to figure something out because clearly their cooking skills or their just kitchen skills in general are not very good.
No.
But
This actually it could affect the Devils season. This is one of those things where the Devils are going to go like lose 10 straight now because he's gone.
well, and I mean they've been dealing with some injuries like every team has, but Jack Hughes, that's just such a concern because he's a guy that has been dealing with a lot of hockey related injuries in the past couple years anyways, and has been struggling with that. But now freak accident at a restaurant, like the guy can't catch a break right now.
No. And every year when he goes down, the team ends up being completely different too, as any team would be after they lose their superstar player. But it is such a stupid injury. Just one of a kind. One of a kind.
Let's shift over to some more real NHL news, I guess. Yep. The Canucks, we talked about David Kampf last week. The Canucks have signed him to a 1-year, $1.1 million deal. Obviously was let go and had his contract terminated by the Toronto Maple Leafs and is now a Vancouver Canuck. trying to fill that se- second line center role, I guess, in a pinch right now with Philip Hedel out, being helping that team's penalty kill as well because they've been really struggling on that aspect. You can see him wearing the Canucks hat right now. Um, it's been a rough season for the Canucks, and I don't see David Kampf being a real answer, but just do you think he can have a positive effect on the team?
If he's on the ice, he'll have a positive impact. Like that's the point of the season where the Canucks are with their injuries, with the depth being depleted because of the injuries. Just a healthy body who can help kill penalties and provide some stability as a center, hopefully, and just help them just find their footing again.
Yeah, their start to the season has been a pretty big struggle, especially defensively. And so you bring in a guy like David Kampf. Um, Hopefully, he can help them out there. But yeah, I mean, new head coach Adam Foote. We've talked about this a fair bit in the Vancouver media here. I wrote an article today for Canucks Army breaking down Adam Foote's defensive zone systems, and it's a lot different. It's a much different look than what they had last year with Rick Tocchet, where they're playing more man to man defensively and things like that. And so you bring in a guy like David Kampf, who is smart in the D zone, plays a higher hockey IQ game. Like he's not necessarily a skilled player or anything like that. Hopefully, he's a guy that can adjust to these systems and help that team out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, anything helps with where they are so far this season. Um, maybe he can play goalie. That seems to be a problem now too.
Hey, Yuri Patera's great. Just score eight or nine goals, and you can win games with him in net.
The Canucks score 8 or 9 goals across 4 games, maybe.
We'll shift off the Canucks talk here and move over to the Montreal Canadiens. They're going to be without Alex Newhook, Kirby Dach, and Caden Gooley for an extended period of time.
Yeah,
They're another team that's been really fighting the injury bug here.
and these were all the Kirby Dax was unfortunate. He's had his own problems with actual hockey injuries. He broke his foot blocking a shot. There's nothing you can do about that. You're laying your body on the line to win a game, and it's just it doesn't help. Same with their defender, Caden Gooley, just can't stay healthy. Like this is it seems to be a recurring problem for Montreal. They had some injuries last year, and it held them. It held them back a little bit, I guess. I mean, they did just barely sneak into the playoffs, regardless. Patrick Laine is already hurt. I mean, he didn't do much so far this year, but it sucks because he can be an impact on the power play. We saw how much he changed the team last year. Alex Newhook starting to look good, and then he goes down. He's out a couple months. Gooley's out a couple months. Kirby Dach, I think, is 6 to 8. It's either 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks. Regardless, you don't want that. Not with how good they were to start the season, and it's already starting to unwind. I think it's a 3 game losing streak right now.
Yeah, I mean, and the Canadians have been on the search for a second line center, and it's because you can't rely on a guy like Kirby Dach to stay healthy. And Alex Newhook, I don't know if they've been playing him at center, but I know he came into the NHL as a centerman. But I just pulled up their lineup here. They've got Oliver Kapanen listed as their 2C right now. So
Yeah,
without those two, they're really going to be hurting. Their decor is solid even without Caden Gooley, but he's still a good, I'd say, second pairing, maybe more of a third pairing guy, but still a solid contributor to their team. So it's another guy that you just hate to lose for sure.
yeah.
Um,
Him and Line only played 5 games so far this year.
who Gooley?
Gooley and Line, yeah,
Mm,
5 games each, and that right there shows you that the it's the 2 guys you'd expect to be injured too, which is sad. Like
hmm
they've had injury problems in the past, and it's just continuing.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, just unfortunate. I think this year though, like the injuries are piling up. Like everybody talks about the condensed schedule and things like that with the Olympics this year. It it just seems to be a theme that guys are playing too many back-to-backs, playing so many teams are playing like 4 and 6 nights, 3 and 4 nights. It's a
Yeah.
tough schedule right now. So the injuries are going to continue to pile up this season, and it might come down to who can be the healthiest team by the end of the year to make a real push for the
Yeah.
playoffs.
It started right away too. Like the moment the season started, they were, and this is right before the NHL expands to an 84 game season, which is an awful look for them. What this season is showing is you should probably shrink the season a little bit, especially with how long the playoffs have been. Like we talked about it last week with the Florida Panthers and their injury troubles. They played into middle of June, 3 straight years, and look what it's doing to them. Look what it's doing to teams that are first round exits. Montreal and Tampa Bay, they've been ravaged with injuries. Vancouver didn't make the playoffs last year, and no one can stay healthy on that team. There's clearly an injury problem, and like you said, it's probably because of how many games they're playing in a short period of time. So what does the NHL do? Add more games.
Pretty soon we're going to be becoming the NBA here, and we're going to have guys taking load
Rest
management
nights.
nights off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the NBA, check out my other podcast with Cam Connolly.
Casual shout out.
Yeah, it's not a good look for the NHL, but
Is there ever a good look for the NHL? Like,
we don't even have this in our notes here, but I forgot to mark it down because I wanted to touch on it a little bit. But Mikko Rantanen, did you see that hit from behind on Romanov?
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
It was I mean, Romanov was going in the boards. Rantanen gave him a push a few feet off the boards, and he he goes head first, and he's hurt. Patrick Waugh screaming his head off at Rantanen. I don't know if it was Patrick Waugh or someone else on the Islanders bench, but someone said, "Better hope you're not playing next game we play you because you're not going to finish that game." Um, but he doesn't get any sort of discipline from NHL player safety. And I was looking after that. I pulled up their Twitter because they announce everything on Twitter
Yeah.
when there's a fine or a suspension. And I'm going to pull it up right now, but it wasn't, um, it was like a week ago, their last tweet. Let me pull it up here. November 13th. Yeah, so a week today was the last fine. Before that, it was November 2nd, then October 19th. Those are their last 3 posts on Twitter, the last 3 fines that they've given out. There's been no suspensions in that time, which fair enough, but you got to think something's going to happen at least once a week, maybe a couple times a week.
Yeah.
That's worth some sort of discipline for player safety.
Or at least that they need to announce, hey, we're not disciplining this for that hit or whatever.
Yeah, I would love an explanation from player safety as to why
Yeah.
they're not giving any sort of discipline to Mikko
Sometimes they do
Rantanen.
it in the playoffs, but that's it.
Yeah,
They decide we should try today, guys.
it's George Peros up there. Just because he went to Harvard doesn't mean his brain's still working after all the fights he was in as a player.
The NHL doesn't care about player safety though. Like, how many times is like someone's head basically going to fall off before they go, all right,
Yeah.
that's enough.
Well, and it's a star player too, so
Yeah.
we can't have our stars sitting out games. But if they do stupid crap like that, then yeah, you can have them sit out
It's also
games.
Colorado. They got 10 other stars over there that can get the media attention. So.
Dallas now.
Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about.
Let's move over to our team of the week. I'll kick things off with mine. In the Western Conference, I've got the Minnesota Wild. They've gone 3-0 in the past week. Jesper Wallstedt has been a breath of fresh air for them. He's been unbelievable. Had a shutout against the Anaheim Ducks and won in a shootout against the Carolina Hurricanes with 42 saves or something like that. He's been unbelievable, and the Minnesota Wild are really starting to take a step here and become more of a playoff threat. They're now in a wild card spot here, so it's been a really good week for the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, it really has, and it was a slow start to the season for them. They they struggled for probably the first 2 weeks, and now they're just clicking on all cylinders. Power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5. Defense is good. Wallstedt, like you said, and obviously Kirill Kaprizov is doing his thing, and he's healthy. So that's huge for Minnesota right now. And they just need to capitalize off of this right now. Keep winning as many games as you can, because inevitably, with the way the season's going, is someone going to get hurt?
Yeah.
Just get
At
a
least,
comfortable lead in that division before someone does get hurt, because 2025 NHL season, it's been rough.
well, at least Kaprizov doesn't have to worry about the Olympics this year.
True. True. He has to worry about his country not letting him leave in the offseason, though.
Yeah. But I mean, they've got some solid matchups coming up that are some winnable games. You've got the Pittsburgh Penguins, Winnipeg Jets. That's a tougher one. But then the Chicago Blackhawks in the next week here before we record next, hopefully next week. So yeah, I like you said, keep winning. These are 3 games that you should be able to win, and yeah, you just keep pushing forward for the Minnesota Wild. But who's your team in the Eastern Conference?
I got the Islanders. This is no longer a boring team.
Mm-hmm.
They've been playing great, and this culture change immediately had positive impact, with Matthew Schaefer obviously stepping in as the number 1 overall pick. 7 goals in 20 games as a rookie, shooting 12%. So it's not like he's just getting the puck and getting good puck luck. No, he's playing great. He's been great 2 ways as a defender. Bo Horvat, everyone's been talking about JT Miller, Elias Pettersson. Who did the Canucks make a mistake on letting go of? They made a mistake on letting go of Bo Horvat, because he's got 13 goals, 11 assists in 20 games. And this Islanders team this week, 3 tough games: Mammoth, Avalanche, Stars, 2-3. The loss to the Avalanche, who I think they still only have 1 regulation loss, and they're winning today in Detroit against a Red Wings team that's been solid too.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen from the Islanders, and you're absolutely right. Like, Bo Horvat has been unbelievable, and he's making a case for himself to make the Olympic roster too.
Yeah,
I've seen some projections where guys haven't, because he has the capability to be a good two-way center and kill penalties and things like that in Olympic on an Olympic roster. But just the amount of points that he's putting up, I can't remember the last time. It might be Matthew Barzal in his rookie year, the last time a New York Islander averaged over a point per game.
yeah,
Like like you said, they were such a boring team, and now they're not so boring. And Matthew Schaefer is another guy who's making a case to potentially be an Olympic player too. Obviously, he's only 18 years old, but just the fact that he's been able to jump in as the number 1 overall pick when he was injured for a lot of last year in his draft year, and people were kind of wondering maybe this is the year that the number 1 pick plays in the OHL to start the year. Maybe he gets a look here and there, but I don't think many people expected him necessarily to, never mind be their number 1 defenseman, but even to make their roster this year. So it's just been such an amazing accomplishment for Schaefer to jump up and be this number 1 defenseman right away for the New York Islanders.
yeah. It's huge, and it's the reason they're 11-7-2. Like, it's because you got this Dobson trade has been a win-win for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dobson has helped solidify the back end for the Canadians, and he's been healthy, which is a problem for Montreal. And Schaefer's helped rebuild the culture in New York, which is what they really wanted to do. Emo Heineman as well, the forward they got
Mm-hmm.
back, and the 2 prospects, they look good so far.
Yeah,
We'll judge them when
Aitchison.
they make the NHL. But when you make a trade like that, you get your first overall pick, and he's immediately impactful. It's huge for a culture. It's huge for a rebuild, and it's going to propel them into being a good, fun team, not a good, boring team.
Definitely. I mean, I was going to touch on the prospects they got back in that trade because, I mean, Victor Eklund in the SHL, he's got 9 points in 19 years this season. 19 years, 19 games this season. That would be terrible.
That would
Uh,
that'd be a career. Somehow going 19 years.
that's a goalie career there. 9
Yeah.
points in 19 years. But that's solid. But Aitchison in the OHL, 15 goals and 25 points in 20 games as what
And
he's
he's a
more seen
defender
as
too,
a
isn't he?
yeah, he's more of a defensive defenseman too. He's more
Yeah,
of that shut down physical guy.
bruiser.
So yeah, it's been unbelievable. His start to the season, and he's a guy that could potentially jump in next year the way he's playing and be a number two defenseman on the Islanders as well. But let's shift over. I want to stick in the Eastern Conference a little bit here because I just wanted to point out real quick. We don't have to spend too much time on this, but the gap between the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are in the wild card 2 spot right now in the Eastern Conference, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are in second last in the Eastern Conference, there's only a 2 point gap there.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this a little bit before, and maybe you could argue that Carolina's kind of broken out above everyone else, but there's not a lot of teams here that have really taken a massive step and a real chokehold on the conference. Like this is very much wide open.
Yeah, 100%. And beyond that, Detroit, who's number one in the Atlantic right now, they've only got 3 points on Tampa Bay. It is still early, but this has been incredibly close. No team in the Atlantic Division, other than Tampa Bay, has a positive goal differential right now.
Yeah,
Like Detroit's is
that's
0 and the others are negative. It's been a surprisingly weak division for the team that's had 5 of the last 6 Stanley Cup finalists from the East.
yeah, I didn't actually realize that. That's a pretty crazy stat.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see like what their goaltending numbers look like cuz how you have a positive record and are above 500. Like the Montreal Canadiens, their winning percentage right now is 60% and they're -3.
They lost 7-0 to Dallas a couple days ago.
Ah, okay. But even like the Buffalo Sabres, we talk about the Leafs being 2 points out. The Sabres, despite having a terrible year and everybody flaming them all season, they're only 4 points out of it right now.
They actually look bad though. That's the thing.
They do. I watched the Sabres Flames game the other day, and
Why would you do that to yourself?
oh, it was exciting. I turned it
Really?
on. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
the start of the game wasn't great, but the third period, the Flames scored, I think, like 3 or 4 straight real quick goals on the Sabres. So they definitely didn't look great there. But yeah, I mean, it was a 2-2 game going into it. I it it's just crazy that they're only 4 points out of it right now when people are talking about them as if they're like guaranteed Gavin McKenna at the end of the season.
Nah, not with the way Calgary is playing.
Well, Calgary beat them.
Yeah, and they're still somehow 3 points below
Yeah.
Buffalo. Yeah, Calgary's been bad.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because it
Yep.
is pretty crazy that there's such a small gap in between the top and the bottom of the Eastern Conference. But let's move over to our quarter season awards. We'll start with the Hart Trophy. I assume we have the same guy because he's been so dominant. I've got Nathan MacKinnon.
He's a dog. Of course it's him. It's Nathan MacKinnon. Leads the league in points, leads the league in goals. His team leads the NHL in points, tied for the most wins in the NHL, best goal differential. You'd assume the MVP is coming out of this team if the season ended today, and it would be Nathan MacKinnon. No regulation losses at home. As a unit, they're insane, and it's because they're led by the best player in the league right now.
Yeah, one point that I did see, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. If the Chicago Blackhawks are able to make the playoffs this year, and Connor Bedard keeps up this, he's on a 125-point pace. If he's able to keep that up, is he a guy that you could see getting the Hart over Nathan MacKinnon because he does have those other players to play with, where Connor Bedard is playing with
True.
Tyler Bertuzzi?
I would personally vote for him, but voters love whoever's just the bet has the more points.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they love. And if
Yeah,
it's Nathan MacKinnon, they'd vote Nathan MacKinnon, which is who it is right now. But if the Blackhawks somehow make the playoffs, that's a big somehow because Utah and Edmonton are both on the outside right now. I would personally give it to me and all my hockey prowess, all of my accolades and everything. I'd give it to Bedard.
Give us a voting credit or however that works. Let us vote this year.
Yeah, let me and Jacob vote. We know what we're talking about. I didn't just say that Rantanen still plays for the Avalanche.
Yeah, you write down on your voter card Mikko Rantanen, Colorado Avalanche.
What the hell is this guy talking about? What year does he think it is?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Nate, he's been unbelievable. I talked about that 9 point weekend he had a couple weekends ago. He's only got one more point than what's his name, Connor McDavid right now,
Yeah,
but three less games played. So
he's also in a
pretty,
playoff spot.
yeah,
His team has a goalie.
yeah. Scott Wedgwood.
What's next?
We'll go to our Calder vote here. We talked about Matthew Schaefer. That's my pick. I'm guessing that's yours too.
That's my pick too. There's a
Yeah.
reason they're team of the week. There's a reason I talked about him so highly. It's because he is the best rookie in the NHL right now. You could make a case for Wallstedt. Demidov needs to step it up. I think he was the betting favorite before the season started.
I mean, he's still in the hunt too. He's
He
got
is in the
14
hunt,
points in
but
19 games.
I mean, he's being outscored by Schaefer.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, another
I just think
guy. Sorry, go
as
ahead.
as a player, Schaefer has been more valuable and the better rookie. That's two things. You can be the better rookie, but less value. Like I think better rookies like more points, basically.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, Schaefer's time on ice, 22 and a half minutes a game, like
Yeah,
versus Demidov playing 14 and a half. That's not a mathematician, but 8 more minutes, I think. So
you're
the
correct. You got it. There you go.
perfect. But yeah, so that's like he's got way more impact. Another guy though, Beckett Seneca on the Anaheim Ducks,
Yes.
he's been playing really well. He's actually averaging more ice time than Ivan Demidov, has the same amount of points. But yeah, I think Matthew Schaefer is quickly running away with it here, and at least for the quarter season mark, he's
Yeah.
been the Calder vote so
And this is
far.
a good rookie class too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's excluding Paraquet and Boyum, who haven't really been impactful for their respective teams. Granted, Calgary is kind of screwing Paraquet's development right now, but yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, you got guys like Jimmy Snuggerud on the St. Louis Blues, who's looked fairly solid. Even Oliver Kapanen on the Canadians, he's been pretty good to start this year too. So
yeah.
yeah, this is a pretty solid rookie class. But let's move to the Norris. Who's your pick for the Norris this year
I've got Quinn
or quarter
Hughes.
season?
I
Yeah,
got Quinn Hughes because he's the only consistent part of this Vancouver Canucks team. I think the stat, I don't know if the stat was before the Panthers game or after, but when Quinn Hughes is on the ice, the Canucks have a positive shot differential. And when he's off the ice, it's like negative 30, 40. Like it's bad. That's why he's my Norris because he's the best, most impactful player to his respective team. But there's one other good option, and I think it's who you got.
yeah, I've got Kel McCarr. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, the voters love points, and Kel McCarr's leading the way in defenseman points. 25 points in 19 games. He's a plus 17. It I get the Quinn Hughes thing. Like I obviously love Quinn Hughes. He's a great player. He's playing almost 27 minutes a night, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just the fact that Vancouver isn't in that playoff spot right now. Obviously, Hughes is the reason why they're not as bad as they could be. But I just think with how dominant Colorado's been, it's kind of hard to shy away from giving it to Kel McCarr. But I mean, another guy, Josh Morrissey, over a point per game to start this year.
Yep.
He's been really good too, and the Jets have been good. So that's another way you could have looked at it as well. I'm curious. I know a lot of people call McCarr, what do they call him? Like,
McKinnon Merchant.
thank you. I'm curious to see what his points look like that haven't been
McKinnon.
set up by McKinnon or
Yeah.
involved Nathan MacKinnon. So, yeah, I mean, if Morrissey keeps up the season he's been having, he's another guy that I think like Zach Werenski last year, he could become that Norris candidate for sure.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made for both of these players. But
Hmm.
I 100% agree with your reasoning that the voters love points, especially for Norris the past couple of years. They love, like, Eric Carlson's 100-point season. I think
Yeah.
like everyone knew he was going to get it. They just love handing it to the guy who scores the most points as a defender, which I guess is very impactful, but it's not what a defender is.
Hmm. No, like, yeah, if I think people say, okay, there should be one award given to the defenseman with the most points or whatever, the best
Yeah.
offensive defenseman, and then the best defensive defenseman. But I think when you're looking at the Norris, the game has evolved to a place where a D man isn't as effective as just a stay at home guy. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you need some of those in your lineup, but those are your third pairing guys. I think the Norris should go to the best two-way guy, the guy that provides offense, but also is shut down defensively, right? And so Kel McCarr is that. Josh Morrissey is that. Quinn Hughes, he struggles a little bit more defensively, but he makes up for it with his offense. And he's still a very solid defensive defenseman, right? Or
Hmm.
defense. He's very solid
Offensively.
defensively,
Yeah.
I should say. He's not a defensive defenseman. But so, yeah, I think it goes to the best two-way defenseman in the league. And often that still is the guy that puts up the most points. But you mentioned Eric Carlson in that 100-point season that he won it. He wasn't a good defensive defenseman that year.
That's being nice about it too.
Yeah, like he was not good at all. And so, but you can't ignore the fact that a D man putting up 100 points is an incredible season,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah, and that's completely fair. On a bad team too.
yeah. All right, let's do our final award here. We'll do our Vesna winner. Who do you have?
I got the man who will be tending the net for Canada in the Olympics. There's a little spoiler for our next segment. Logan Thompson. He's the best goalie in the NHL right now. He's the reason Washington's still in the mix for the playoffs. I say this like we're in crunch time, but they're tied for the last playoff spot right now. 10 wins, 8 losses, 2 overtime losses. He's been amazing. He kind of re brought himself back into the limelight last year after the trade to Washington, helped them solidify their situation between the pipes, and he's elevated his game so far, earning himself the Vezina at this point of the season, in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean he's been great since his time in Vegas, and obviously they chose to keep Aiden Hill over him, and now in Washington he's just taken his game to another level and has been incredible last year and even better this season. So yeah, I definitely like that pick, but I'm gonna go a little bit different here. I'm gonna go with Spencer Knight just because I scored on him when I was 10 years old, and but no, he's been great. And I mentioned the Chicago Blackhawks earlier and Connor Bedard being a massive reason for their success, but Spencer Knight has been as well. He's posted a 924 save percentage, 2.42 goals against average. So the goals against average is a little higher than you'd like from your typical Vesna candidate, but I mean, he's willing the Chicago Blackhawks into a playoff spot. He's only accounted for 3 of their regulation losses and 7 of their wins. So he's had a great start to the year. And that trade is, you talk about win-win trades earlier. This trade between the Florida Panthers and the Chicago Blackhawks is looking like it could be one of those win-win trades where Seth Jones is doing well in Florida and
Mhm.
Spencer Knight is becoming a legit number one goalie for the Blackhawks.
Also, Florida just got another ring last year. That's a win in itself.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we go into the last segment here?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's yeah, so we did Olympic roster talk last week talking about Celebrini and Bedard whether they'd make the team. And this week we're going to talk about the Canadian goaltending a little bit. So you
Yeah.
mentioned Logan Thompson. He's your pick to start?
As of right now, he's my pick to start. And I think he is the favorite to start right now. Binnington obviously was the starter for Four Nations last year. I haven't looked at his numbers recently.
Don't bother, they're
He'll
bad.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, that's not surprising. Uh, Hill and Montembeau have also struggled. Montembeau has taken a lot of criticism in Montreal. I don't think he's getting any recognition or any. Um, I can't think of the word, but I don't think he's in consideration at all for this right now. I think it's Thompson, and then the other guys are auditioning for backup right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I will say, I do think Jordan Binnington makes the team regardless of what his numbers are.
Yeah, Four Nations helps.
Yeah, like he's proven that he can win at at the international stage, but as well won that Stanley Cup back in 2019 with the St. Louis Blues. So, I mean, he's a proven winner. He's kind of that lock to make the team, but I agree with you. I think Logan Thompson should be the starter. I think a lot of people thought he should be on the Four Nations team at the very least last year, but I know that there just are some issues between him
Oh,
and yeah, basically the Canadian coaching staff or whoever's picking the team doesn't like Logan Thompson for whatever reason.
here's my question for them: do you guys like winning?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's be real here. Put your egos to the side for a second and represent the flag. Like, come on, guys.
I agree 100%. Like you've got to it doesn't matter if you don't like the guy. Doesn't matter at all. As
Yeah.
long as he's not a complete idiot in the locker room and going to take away from everyone else, he he's the best goalie Canada's got right now. So he's got to
And
be between the pipes for them.
based off of what's happened since he's gone to Washington, I don't think he's a complete idiot in the locker room.
Yeah,
Like, they've been a very good team the past year and a half.
exactly, for sure. So we talked about those two, but who's your pick for the third stringer right now? Like you mentioned, Montembeau's kind of played himself out of it. Aiden Hill, I don't know if I really feel comfortable with him, especially just he hasn't been good this year. Like he's got one win in 5 games
Yeah.
with Vegas.
It's going to be a tough one right now. Like, is it Kumper?
Yeah, it could be Darcy Kemper. It could be even Scott Wedgwood, like as crazy as that is to say.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah, another guy, Tristan Jarry. Like he's been figuring it out in Pittsburgh there too.
true, but he's also been. Is it about like split 50-50? Him and Shelovs?
I would have to pull up Archer Shilov's stats here. Let me see how many games he's played. I think it probably is around a 50-50 split. Um, actually, Shilov's has played more than
Shelovs, yeah.
Jari.
Shelovs has 10, Jari has 7.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Wedgwood.
hmm
He's been playing. If we're going off of this year, he's been playing the best out of the names that we just mentioned.
Well, and other than Bennington, I think you do have to go off of this year because,
Yeah,
like, I get that there's other guys that maybe have paid their dues or have been there before, but if a guy sucks this year, then why do you want to bring him to your Olympic team where he can just suck even more there?
yeah. Also, holy crap, Bennington has been awful.
Yeah,
872 save percentage.
told you not to look it up. Give you nightmares.
Yeah, yikes. Is he too busy fighting people again?
He's too busy trying to put pucks in his pants. They end
Oh
up in the
yeah, I
back of the
saw
net.
that. There's always some kind of shenanigans with Bennington.
Yeah, there is. I mean, yeah, I'm just looking at the names here. Like, this is the problem. None of these names, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy could play. Cam Talbot, Jake Allen, Stuart Skinner, Jet Greaves. Like, I don't look at any of these names and go, oh yeah, that's a legitimate starter in the NHL.
What about back-to-back Stanley Cup losing goalie Stuart Skinner?
Well, I don't look at him as a starting goalie in the NHL really. Like,
Fair enough. Yeah, then
they
he'd be the
they have
perfect third string goalie then.
yeah, exactly. Well, they have Calvin Pickard coming in to save them in the playoffs. Like, I don't want to need that. I get that he'd be the third stringer and everything for Team Canada, but Still, if two guys somehow go down with injury, I don't want to have to rely on Stuart Skinner, who's shown that he's unreliable in these bigger games.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be Wedgwood. Yeah, I think it has to be, unless they're going to play politics,
Which they
which
probably
they're
will.
known to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning Wedgwood personally.
Yeah, I think right now I would have to agree. Maybe Darcy Kemper, like you said, just because he has a bit more experience as a starting goalie than Scott Wedgwood does.
Yeah, and also hasn't been awful.
Yeah.
Like the other guys we mentioned have been awful. Like they shouldn't be starting for the teams they're starting for
Yeah.
right now.
Well, Wedgwood has played more than 30 games once in his NHL career. He's been in
True.
the league for 10 years and he's only had one 30-game season.
We are talking about this as a third string, though. Like we're not saying he's going to be number one or number two. He should be the third string.
Yeah, that's true. But I just feel like you want to bring the three guys that are going to give you the best chance to win. And I don't know if Scott Wedgwood does that.
Yeah, I don't know if Bennington does that as well. I don't know if any of the goalies not named Logan Thompson really do that, though. That's the
fair.
problem with the Canadian goalie situation right now. Is they're not good.
Yeah, we really need Joshua Ravensbergen and Carter George, Jack Ivankovic. We need all three of those guys to really work out for Team Canada in the next six to 10 years.
I'm going to act like I know who those guys are.
They're going to be the World Junior goalies this year.
Okay. There you go. I knew that.
We're missing a Carey Price.
He's too old.
He's technically still on the San Jose Sharks roster.
Oh yeah, one of those great trades. I don't even think he's in Montreal anymore. I don't even think he lives in Quebec.
No, I think he lives in San Jose because he's a Shark.
It's like, well, family, we got to move to San Jose. It's like, you're not playing this year. I'm a Shark. Come on.
I'm curious what he's doing. He's got to be living in BC again. Back home.
Look up Carey Price address.
Yeah, let me pull up his address. I can't see anything about where he's at. I thought maybe he'd have like some kind of role with the Sharks or something, like goaltending advisor or something like that. I don't know.
If he was going to be some kind of advisor or anything, Montreal wouldn't have traded him. He would have much rather just been an advisor for the Canadians.
Yeah, that's true.
Or any other team other than San Jose, basically. Like
maybe he can be the advisor for Team Canada this year.
That'd be a good pull. He can teach Stuart Skinner how to play the net.
Yeah.
So when the puck comes, save it. Oh.
I saw a funny video today. Stuart Skinner suffers from blindness in both eyes, and it was the clip of him making that save and holding onto the puck right out in front of him, and then I think it was against the Flames. They just poke it 5-hole.
He's like the Jameis Winston of the NHL. Occasionally he does something amazing, but most of the times it's just awful.
Sounds like a lot of Oilers. Evan Bouchard does that too.
Fair enough. Should we wrap it up here?
Yeah, let's
too far off the rails.
Yeah, for sure. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you for listening to In the Slot. I'm your host, Jacob Fraser, with my co-host, Keanen Tregaskis. And make sure to check out some of our other shows on Horizon Media. We recently dropped Film Grinders, a football podcast with Nick Hauka and David Hollinshead. So be sure to check that out, and we'll see you later.